The world's most critical waterway just froze, and it's sending shockwaves through the global economy. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're unpacking a crisis that could make the inflation of the last few years look like a minor speed bump. The Strait of Hormuz, the narrow channel responsible for moving a quarter of the world's seaborne oil, is now effectively closed. And no, it's not an official blockade. The International Maritime Organization confirmed today that while the strait is legally an international waterway, it has become completely unnavigable. Why? Because the risk of attack is simply too high. Right now, over 800 ships, including 450 massive oil and gas tankers, are either trapped inside the Persian Gulf or anchored outside, afraid to move. So what happened? Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, issued what they're calling a U-turn statement. They claim the strait is only closed to ships from the United States, Israel, and Europe. But here's the catch. They also threatened to set ablaze any vessel even remotely linked to Western allies. This wasn't just political posturing, it was a direct threat to global shipping. The result was immediate. Major global insurance firms, the ones who underwrite these billion-dollar voyages, pulled their coverage. Without insurance, no company will risk their ships, their cargo, or their crews. So, regardless of a ship's flag or destination, almost all traffic has ground to a halt. It's a selective blockade in name only. In reality, it's a total shutdown. The markets are already in a panic. Energy traders are scrambling and prices are exploding. Brent Crude, the international oil benchmark, has already leaped 12% just this week, hovering around $83 a barrel. But the real shocker is in natural gas. Following a drone strike on Qatar's massive Ras Laffan LNG facility earlier this week, European natural gas prices shot up by a staggering 50 to 70%. This isn't a distant problem. This will hit your gas pump and your heating bill, and it will happen fast. Businesses will pass on these higher energy costs, meaning everything from groceries to electronics will get more expensive. But this crisis goes far beyond fuel prices. It's a massive humanitarian issue unfolding at sea. We're talking about 20 to 23,000 seafarers, mostly from India and the Philippines, who are now stranded on these ships. They're stuck in the middle of a rapidly escalating naval conflict between US, Israeli, and Iranian forces. They can't sail forward, they can't turn back, and they can't get off their ships. They are trapped in a floating danger zone with dwindling supplies and rising uncertainty. These are the forgotten victims of this geopolitical showdown, and their safety is a growing concern. Looking at the bigger picture, the International Energy Agency, or IEA, just issued a stark warning. They explained that the world actually started this year with a surplus of oil in storage. We had a cushion. However, the IEA warns that a prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz will completely erase that surplus. With 25% of the world's seaborne oil supply cut off, the market will flip from a surplus into a permanent deficit. A permanent deficit means there simply won't be enough oil to meet global demand. The consequence? Not just a temporary price spike, but sustained long-term global inflation that could cripple economies still recovering from the last few years of turmoil. This isn't just another headline from a distant part of the world. The shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz is a direct threat to the global supply chain, to our economic stability, and to the lives of thousands of seafarers. The ripple effects are just beginning, and we'll be covering this as it develops. What are your thoughts on this? How do you think governments should respond? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. Stay safe out there.